Fishermen have always had a reputation for exaggerating. The one that got away always seems to get bigger every time the story is told. But what happens when the catch is so massive that no exaggeration is even necessary? What happens when the proof is right there on camera, on a scale, verified by experts, and entered into the record books forever? Today we are looking at 10 of the biggest catches ever recorded in human history. Some of these will make you question everything you thought you knew about what lies beneath the surface of the water. Stay with us because we are starting with the most extraordinary catches ever recorded and working our way through history one record at a time. Number 10. The largest shark. Few creatures in the natural world have captured the human imagination quite like the shark. From blockbuster Hollywood films to dedicated week-long television events, sharks have fascinated and terrified people across generations. Beneath the fear, however, lies a thriving community of brave fishermen who actively pursue these apex predators as the ultimate sporting challenge. Shark fishing is a very real and very demanding pastime, governed by strict legal protections designed to preserve vulnerable species. While most recreational fishermen are not exactly pulling great white sharks to the surface, some genuinely remarkable catches have been recorded over the years. But nothing compares to what the Guinness Book of World Records officially recognizes as the largest fish ever caught. The record belongs to a whale shark measuring an extraordinary 41 feet and 6 inches in length and weighing several thousand pounds. To put that into perspective, this single fish was longer than many of the boats used to catch it. It remains to this day the largest confirmed fish catch in recorded history, a benchmark so extraordinary that it is difficult to imagine it ever being surpassed. Number 9. The mystery creature. Unlike everything else on this list, this catch does not have a clean ending or an official record attached to it. What it does have is a photograph, a story that has circulated across the internet for decades, and a level of official secrecy that has only deepened the mystery surrounding it. In 1995, a large commercial fishing vessel hauled up something from the deep that immediately alarmed every crew member on board. The creature was so large and so unlike anything they had seen before that they made the decision to bring it back to shore. When authorities arrived, however, the reaction was not what the crew expected. Instead of recognition or scientific interest, the creature was immediately declared the property of the Russian military. Academics and marine biologists were physically barred from approaching it. The photograph that circulated afterward remains one of the only pieces of visual evidence that the incident ever occurred. After taking possession of the specimen, authorities reportedly broke it down and destroyed it entirely, leaving behind no physical evidence and almost no documentation. Given the circumstances and the timing, many researchers who investigated the incident later concluded that the creature may have been connected to an abandoned Soviet biological weapons program from the Cold War era. Whatever it was, the world may never know. And perhaps that is the most terrifying catch of all. Number 8. The largest squid. The ocean has always been home to creatures that seem too large to be real, and the colossal squid is perhaps the best example of that. Even larger than the famous giant squid, members of this species can reach lengths exceeding 30 feet and weigh up to 1,500 pounds. For most of human history, the colossal squid existed largely in legend, reported by sailors and fishermen, but rarely seen and almost never captured. That changed dramatically in February of 2008, when a group of fishermen working the waters off New Zealand hauled up what they expected to be a net filled with commercially valuable smaller fish. What they actually found inside the net was something that none of them had ever seen before, and likely never expected to see in their lifetimes. Among the contents was a single colossal squid measuring an incredible 33 feet in length. The fishermen immediately recognized that what they had was something truly extraordinary, and turned the specimen over to the Auckland University of Technology, where marine biologist Steve O'Shea confirmed it as the largest squid ever recorded in history. Number 7. The alligator gar. Not every fish on this list is one you would recognize from a restaurant menu or a supermarket shelf. The alligator gar is something altogether different. This extraordinary creature is the largest member of the gar family, a group of fish so ancient that scientists frequently refer to them as living fossils. The resemblance to an alligator is immediately obvious, from the elongated snout to the thick armored scales covering the body. But the similarities go even deeper than appearance. Like alligators, the alligator gar is capable of breathing both air and water, a biological ability that sets it apart from almost every other fish in existence. These remarkable creatures can grow to lengths of 10 feet, though their range has shrunk dramatically over the decades due to habitat loss and overfishing. Today they are most commonly found in the southern regions of the United States and parts of Mexico. In areas where they still occur naturally, alligator gar remain popular targets for sport fishermen chasing a truly legendary catch. The largest confirmed catch on rod and reel came on January 1, 1951, when a man named Bill Valverde pulled a jaw-dropping 279-pound specimen from the Rio Grande in Texas. That record has never been broken. Number 6. The largest catfish. Catfish have a reputation for growing large, but the Mekong giant catfish takes that reputation to an entirely different level. These extraordinary fish live along the Mekong River system stretching between Lower Mekong, Vietnam, and the Yunnan province in China. Unfortunately, the species has been so severely overfished over the decades that it is now listed as critically endangered, meaning sightings of large specimens have become increasingly rare. Which makes what happened on January 18, 2019 all the more remarkable. A local fisherman hauled in a specimen so massive that experts who examined it were left almost speechless. The fish measured over 9 feet in length and tipped the scales at an unbelievable 646 pounds. Those who verified the catch stated that it may not only be the largest catfish ever recorded, but could potentially be the largest freshwater fish of any species ever caught anywhere in the world. For a creature already pushed to the edge of extinction, this catch served as a powerful reminder of just how extraordinary the natural world can still be. Number 5. The largest marlin. Marlin are among the most recognizable fish in the ocean, famous for their long pointed bills and their extraordinary speed. These powerful creatures can reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour and weigh well over 1,000 pounds, making them one of the most sought-after targets in the world of sport fishing. Several species of marlin are now severely endangered due to decades of overfishing, which makes the record catch even more remarkable considering when it happened. Back in 1970, a group of anglers set out on a fishing adventure off the coast of Oahu, Hawaii aboard a charter boat skippered by Captain Cornelius Choi. What they pulled from the water that day would go down in history. The fish, which became known as Choi's monster in honor of the captain, was a Pacific blue marlin weighing an astonishing 1,805 pounds. To this day it remains the largest marlin ever caught on a rod and reel, a record that has stood for over 50 years and shows absolutely no signs of being broken anytime soon. Number 4. The largest sea bass. The giant sea bass is a fish that most people have never seen in person, and there is a very good reason for that. This critically endangered species is most commonly found along the Gulf of California, typically in relatively shallow water near kelp forests and underwater ledges. These enormous fish can reach lengths of 7 feet and weights of up to 500 pounds, feeding on anchovies, mackerel, croaker, sheephead, and even crab. Despite their size and power, they are themselves prey for a number of species, most notably humans. Bass fishing has grown into one of the largest recreational industries on Earth, with entire stores, video games, and television networks built around the sport. Every year thousands of fishermen take to the water hoping to set a new record, but the current world record for giant sea bass has proven almost impossibly difficult to beat. It was set back in 1968 when a fisherman caught a giant sea bass at Anacapa Island off the California coast. The fish weighed 563.5 pounds and measured 7 feet 4 inches in length. With populations of the species continuing to decline, there is a very real possibility that this record may stand forever. Number 3. The largest crab. Alaskan crab fishing holds a distinction that most people would rather not have. It is consistently ranked as one of the most dangerous jobs in the entire United States, carrying a fatality rate that far exceeds almost every other occupation. The men and women who brave freezing Arctic waters, brutal machinery, and unpredictable storms do so in pursuit of one of the most valuable catches the ocean has to offer. The risks are very real. Deaths most commonly occur through drowning or hypothermia, and injuries from heavy equipment are a constant threat for those who survive long enough to keep working. But for those whose lives revolve around crab fishing, moments of triumph make every risk feel worthwhile. One such moment came in the spring of 1980, when a crew of Alaskan fishermen pulled up a single crab that weighed over 33 pounds. To put that into perspective, witnesses at the time noted that this one crab alone could have fed an entire large family for a week or more. To this day, that extraordinary catch remains the largest individual crab ever officially recorded. Number 2. The largest salmon. Salmon is one of the most familiar fish in the world. It appears on restaurant menus, in grocery stores, on sushi platters, and in countless home kitchens across every continent. But despite its reputation as an everyday food, salmon in the wild can grow to sizes that would shock most people who only ever encounter it on a plate. In the wild, salmon can range from just 3 pounds all the way up to well over 100 pounds depending on the species. The undisputed heavyweight of the salmon world is the king salmon, also known as the Chinook, which represents the largest variety of the species by a considerable margin. The record for the largest king salmon ever caught was set back in 1949 by a group of fishermen working near Petersburg, Alaska. They had set a net trap and were waiting for it to fill with the usual assortment of fish. When they pulled it up, however, one fish immediately stood out from everything else in the net. Among the catch was a king salmon weighing an extraordinary 126 pounds. The fish was officially verified, and to this day remains one of the largest salmon ever caught anywhere in the world. Number 1. The largest lobster. Lobster fishing is a trade built on patience. Fishermen drop baited traps into the water, and then wait, sometimes for days, hoping the right creature wanders in. Despite being one of the most profitable seafood industries in the world, lobster fishing carries serious risks that most people sitting in restaurants never think about. Fishermen have become fatally entangled in the lines used to haul traps from the ocean floor, and accidents are far more common than the industry likes to admit. But for those who take those risks every day, a catch like the one recorded in 1977 makes it all feel worthwhile. A crew fishing off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada pulled up something that immediately stopped everyone on the boat in their tracks. What they had caught was a North Atlantic lobster weighing an incredible 44 pounds and 6 ounces, a catch that Guinness officially recognized as the heaviest marine crustacean ever recorded. It is worth noting, however, that an even larger marine lobster reportedly caught back in 1926 was said to weigh over 51 pounds. Unfortunately, that particular specimen was never officially verified before it ended up on someone's dinner plate, leaving the 1977 record firmly in place.